It all started with a no. We do not give patents for perpetual motion devices. That's what the patent examiner said. And he was right. In the past 100 years, the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office hadn't given a single patent for a device like this. Not one. But this time, it was different. The gentleman making the request was no amateur inventor. But he wasn't a white lab coat scientist either. This friendly and unpretentious savant that had already sold many of his patents to the U.S. Army had absolutely no plans for giving up. Plus, he was patient and willing to fight the patent office bureaucracy for as long as it would take. And 6 years later, the unthinkable happened. Howard Johnson walked out of the patent office. Not with one, but with 3 patents for a breakthrough invention that was so revolutionary, it had the power to change the world forever. In his hands, Johnson had the ultimate proof that free energy was more than just a dream, because the 3 patents that the U.S. Patent Office had awarded to Johnson were for a simple yet very powerful device that generates 100% free electricity day and night and is virtually maintenance free and is completely environmentally friendly with no fumes, no byproducts, and no dangerous emissions. This meant that it was now possible for everyone to make their own electricity and cut the cord that tied them to the greedy electric companies. Yet Howard Johnson's excitement was very short-lived, because when word got out about this amazing discovery, something happened. Something that literally killed the invention and kept it from the public's reach for more than 20 years. Now, for the first time in 2 decades, the truth about Johnson's invention is starting to unfold, and with it, generating your own free power has now been made possible again. And in this short presentation, that probably won't stay up for long, you'll get all the nitty-gritty details about how to use Howard Johnson's suppressed invention to make your own free electricity, slash your electric bill by 75% or more in less than 30 days, and even get off the grid so you can be energy independent and never owe another dime to the electric company. People are already talking about this, like Mike Wallace from San Antonio, Texas, who says, "My neighbor's jaw dropped when he saw this, and he still doesn't believe that it really works." Tom Scott from Minnesota says, "I've been watching the generator spin for the last 3 hours, and it doesn't seem to have any intention of stopping. It's feeding free watts into the grid, and it doesn't cost us a single dime." And, as you're about to see, making your own energy is a lot easier than you may think. But first, it's important to understand who Howard Johnson was and why this simple invention can change your life. You see, perpetual motion devices are not something new, at least in theory. They're the holy grail of engineering. And for hundreds of years, many scientists, do-it-yourselfers, or inventors have pursued what seemed to be an impossible goal. That is, to build a device that generates more energy than it uses. Howard Johnson was one of these enthusiasts. Yet, he was no stranger to electricity. He had worked for many years on atomic energy products at Oak Ridge, had done extensive magnetic research for Burroughs Company, and was a scientific consultant to Luke & Steel. And if there's one thing these 3 places have in common, it's that each of these jobs forced Howard Johnson to be practical. Johnson was not a quantum physicist, and he couldn't care less about black holes or life on Mars. He was more of a down-to-earth inventor, always fiddling with one of his inventions, and he liked to call himself the sticky tape scientist. That's because many of his working inventions were ugly and effective. They were not like the clean, shiny prototypes you see from other inventors. Yet even though they were stitched with duct tape and aluminum foil, they all worked. And that's how he went into the Hall of Fame of U.S. inventors, with practical inventions that the automotive industry, the U.S. Army, and the health system are using today. For the military, Johnson invented a ceramic muffler that makes a motor generator completely silent at 50 feet. The U.S. Army has been using this invention for the past 18 years. For the motor industry, Johnson created a hysteresis brake. That's a highly effective, frictionless brake that's pretty much maintenance-free, like most of his inventions. He created a 92-pole, no-brush generator used in the wheel of Lincoln cars as a skid control. It was 8 times cheaper than the old version while also being twice as effective. And he also came up with a simple method of dissolving deadly asbestos fibers. Yet his most important invention might also be his least known one. And that's a shame. You see, near the end of his life, Johnson stumbled on a discovery that sent shockwaves all around the globe. It was a simple yet revolutionary device that used magnetic energy to generate 100% free electricity. A set and forget generator that works autonomously and gives clean, free energy day in and day out without relying on the sun or wind for 1 second. But this wasn't the first free energy generator ever invented, but it was the first one that actually worked. Johnson's motor is based on a simple and very elegant concept that inventors somehow missed for decades. It uses the principle of a constant imbalance of the magnetic forces between a rotor and a stator. The trick is to always maintain this permanent imbalance of forces in the same direction during the complete rotation of the motor from 0 to 360 degrees. Here's a simple sketch of how the Johnson motor works. Howard used perpetual magnets for his initial design, and when he showed his results to fellow investors, no one could believe this was real. But it was true. He had found a way to trick the laws of physics, and by doing this, he had the ability to generate free electricity using nothing but the untapped power of the magnetic fields. The ultimate recognition came when the initially reluctant U.S. Patent Office handed Howard 3 different patents for his generator, the first ones they ever gave for a perpetual motion device. Scientists were so excited about Johnson's new invention that the device made the front page of the Science and Mechanics magazine in 1980. Howard Johnson now had all the proof he needed to start financing his project and building the generator on an industrial scale. But little did he know that making headlines around the world would also attract the wrong kind of attention. And in the end, this led to the untimely death of the Johnson motor. Because in the next months, the big oil corporations pulled the exact same trick they did to the electric car and ensured that the public never hears another thing about the Johnson motor. It's a true conspiracy story you don't really read about in the newspapers. But this is the exact MO the big corporations use to suppress inventions that put their profits in peril. You see, in the 80s, the electric car was a really big thing. A world-famous inventor by the name of Stan Ovishky, working for GM, had come up with a high-capacity car battery that was way beyond anything you see these days. It was so powerful, it could run a car for 300 miles, more than enough to turn the electric car into a viable solution for the masses. But when the word got out, the oil companies acquired all the patents for the invention, effectively putting a lid on the invention. And while the giant oil mammoth Texaco was holding the patents in some underground storage facility, we were forced to shell out thousands of dollars each year on expensive gas. The exact same thing happened to Howard Johnson's motor. When the oil and energy companies found out about the invention, they immediately sprung to action and used an army of lawyers and a few legal dirty tricks to secure the patents and remove them from the marketplace. After Howard Johnson died in 2008, it seemed that the opportunity to see the Johnson motor in action and actually use it to generate electricity without depending on the electric company was lost. But a brand new change in the patent law has created a loophole. And with it, generating 100% free electricity is once again possible. Here's what it's all about. Until a while ago, it would have been impossible to buy the Johnson motor from anywhere else. It still is. But this doesn't mean you can't use one. It's simple. While it's forbidden for anyone to try and build the device industrially and sell it because of a patent infringement, no one says you can't make one and generate your own electricity. It's easier than you think, even if you've never built anything before. Actually, especially if you've never built anything before. Remember when we mentioned Howard's fondness for simple inventions that were held together with sticky tape? Well, his motor was that kind of invention. Something incredibly simple to assemble, yet so genuinely different from anything else you've ever seen, you'll slap yourself for not trying it before. Yet Howard's invention was not meant for do-it-yourself. Simple as it was still pretty difficult to build for the average guy. And even though you can find Howard's original blueprints on a few websites, you'll discover that without the proper instructions, they're pretty useless. And that's where we come into the picture. We've assembled a crack team of scientists and engineers, and with your help, we've created a quick and easy guide you can use to make your own Johnson generator and slash your electric bill by 75% or more in as little as a month. The results are impressive because once you discover just how easy it is to build the Johnson mower, you'll get instant savings of 50%, 75% or more without spending $20,000 or more on expensive solar panels. You'll enjoy even greater savings, up to 100% or more, so that the electric company actually pays you when you discover the simple scaling secret for getting virtually unlimited free energy. You'll be able to power up any kind of household appliances, from lamps and toasters to electricity hogs like refrigerators and AC units. You can even power up a remote cabin in the wilderness and stop worrying about having to pay the electric company 50 grand or more to hook you to the grid. What's more, because the Johnson mower is very light and portable, it makes for one of the best emergency generators you could ever hope for. Unlike solar panels, it won't get blown off the roof by strong winds and hurricanes. That's because you can install it in your basement or in your backyard and not worry about the weather conditions for even a second. And unlike conventional portable generators, there are no fumes, and you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars on fuel. In fact, there's very little to spend at all. Except from a simple maintenance check every few months, the generator is basically set it and forget it. And because the low friction design makes it so silent, you won't even hear it running. It's no wonder people are raving about it. In the short time we've made this available to the public, those who tried the device got very impressive results. Dave Ross from Florida says, "I was paying through the nose for electricity, and now I'm energy independent, and it's only been about 70 days since I got the generator." And Mark Penman from Austin, Texas says, "My electric bills kept getting bigger and bigger, and for a while I was thinking about paying $15,000 on a solar panel system. Glad I didn't. The Johnson motor does the trick, and it cost me just under $100 to make it." And here's what 72-year-old Matthew Henning says from Colorado. "I've never built anything in my entire life, yet this was so easy I assembled it with my grandkids. Now we get free electricity 24/7. And hundreds of others who are now paying less than half of what they used to and saving thousands of dollars each year on electricity, all because of the Johnson motor. The bottom line is, if you want to cut the cord and free yourself from the electric company, you need to hear all about the Johnson motor blueprints. We took Howard Johnson's intricate designs, originally created for the industrial manufacturing of his perpetual magnet motor, and translated them into plain English so that anyone, no matter what age or skill, can make their own electricity and even get off the grid. Here's what you'll find inside this simple step-by-step guide. How to make your own perpetual magnet motor in as little as 2 hours, with parts you can find at any local electronics store for under $50. The simple scaling secret that allows you to take small savings of 25% of your electric bill and double it, triple it, even quadruple it, so you can get off the grid or even get paid by the electric company. The shocking truth about the vampire loads that are piling up costs on your electric bill, making you shell out more money to the electric company. Plus, the simple way to eliminate them for almost instant savings. A short list of all the simple parts and materials you'll need to make the Johnson motor for about $93 in total costs. And on top of that, you get the complete blueprints, color photos, and step-by-step instructions on how to make your own perpetual motor, even if you got 2 thumbs and never assembled anything in your entire life. Remember, Howard Johnson used duct tape for most of his inventions, and they still worked. That's why, even though the Johnson motor isn't something you'd call pretty, it's incredibly easy to build even for a complete newbie. The Johnson motor is an amazing device that's already changing thousands of lives all around the world. We've got reports of people saving as little as 35% on electric costs and as much as 120%. That is, they're now producing more electricity than they need, so much so that the electric company is actually sending them a check in the mail every single month. Just imagine what you could do if you weren't forced to pay $100 or more every single month on electricity. Or if your case is worse, and you're among those who are forced to shell out $300 or more on electricity every month, the Johnson motor could help save you more than $3,500 by the end of the year. You're suddenly free to take care of other expenses, like improving your home or taking a spouse to a nice dinner every once in a while. Or you can simply use this extra cash to make your retirement more enjoyable. The choice is yours, and the electric company will be picking up the tab for it. So, it would make a lot of sense to charge a lot for the Johnson generator blueprints. But we won't do that. In fact, the only reason we're even charging a fee for the blueprints is to cover our research and development expenses. But most of all, to pay our legal fees that keep piling up. Even so, we won't charge an arm and a leg for the Johnson Motor blueprints. So here's the deal. You'll get immediate access to all the blueprints, the step-by-step do-it-yourself manual, and the list of tools and supplies for just $47. That's probably less than half of what you're paying each month on electricity. And you can recoup that investment in as little as 30 days. Getting the blueprints for the Johnson Motor is easy. Just click the orange Add to Cart button below and you'll be taken to our secure order page. And the price doesn't even matter. That's because you're protected by our no questions asked money back guarantee for a full 60 days. It's simple. Get the blueprints today and put them to the test. See how easy it is to make your own electricity with the Johnson Motor. Watch as your power meter slows down the moment you plug your generator in and see what it's like to slash your electric bill by 50%, 75%, or more in less than 2 months. You have 60 days to decide whether this was a good investment or not. And if you're less than thrilled with how much money you're saving on electricity, just write us a short email at the address you'll find in the members area. We'll give you an immediate refund, even if it's the 23rd hour of the 59th day. So go on, click the orange Add to Cart button below and get the Johnson Motor blueprints risk-free. But you need to move fast. This isn't the first time we're attempting to make Howard Johnson's work public. The first time we did it, we were able to keep the doors open for almost 2 weeks until the electric companies found out about it. Almost 500 people got access to the blueprints, and the success stories have been pouring in ever since. But when Big Energy set their legal hounds on us, we were forced to take the website down and close shop for almost a year. Now we're back online and hoping that this time we'll be able to stay up for more than just 2 weeks. But the fact is, we don't have the money nor the mental strength to be constantly battling an army of lawyers, so this could be taken down at any time. The choice should be obvious. For less than the price of your monthly electric bill, you can do more than just cut your electric bill by 50% or 75%. You'll also be sending a powerful message to the electric companies. You're showing them that you can take a stand and that you can become energy independent on your own without needing a single watt of their expensive electricity. And just imagine how your life will be just 2 months after making the Johnson Motor. Picture this. You're coming home from work and you notice there's a fresh envelope in the mail. It's a bill from the electric company. But as you rip it open, you notice that something's different. This time, the amount is negative. This time, the electric company is actually forced to pay you for electricity. And you're getting small checks of $20, $30 or more every month just from keeping the Johnson Motor on. And month after month, you get the same relaxed feeling that comes with not owing anyone a red cent. You're finally free and independent. No longer trapped inside a legal monopoly that's holding you at gunpoint. The Johnson Motor is about something bigger and more important than money. It's about regaining your freedom and making a stand. Now, you can send a message to the Big Energy Fat Cats and show them that you're no longer depending on them. And really, the road to energy independence starts with the push of a button. So go on, click the orange Add to Cart button below and claim your energy independence now. Still here? There are some questions that I keep receiving from people, and I'll try and answer a few here. One question we keep getting is, do I need any technical skills to build the Johnson generator? The short answer to this is no, you don't. Sure, some do-it-yourself experience is always good, but if you don't have any, don't worry. You'll still be able to make a Johnson generator and get free energy. You'll just need to pay a little more attention to the blueprints, that's all. Another question we get is, what can I use the generator for? Is this just for show? The Johnson Motor is more than just a cool gadget you can show off to your neighbors. You can use it to power up any household appliances or even an entire home. You can even use it as a portable source of energy when you're on the road or when you go camping with your family. That's because the technology is scalable, and once you get the hang of it, you can make bigger and bigger generators for little cost. Here's another one people are asking. How much do the parts cost? To build a small-scale Johnson Motor, you'll need about $45 worth of parts that you can get from any electronics store. If you want to scale it up and get more electricity, you'll need more expensive parts, but you'll find that you can easily power up an entire home with under $100 in total costs. Another frequent question is, how do I get Howard Johnson's blueprints for building a perpetual magnetic motor? It's simple. When you click the Add to Cart button below, you'll be taken to a secure order page on one of the world's largest merchants, ClickBank. They are processing tens of thousands of secure payments each day, so you risk nothing. Plus, you're covered by our no questions asked guarantee for a full 60 days. Once you've completed the payment, you'll be taken to a special members area where you'll get all the Johnson blueprints and a special unadvertised bonus that we're probably going to be taken down in a couple of days. To get the blueprints for the Johnson motor, click the Add to Cart button below.